Okay, let's see if the controller work. It does indeed. Let's go. Alright, but this game in particular really caught my eye when I was looking, because the artwork for this game looks very, very good. One of my favorite style art is literally um, pen art. I love pen art, and this is exactly what it reminds me of. It's just like the ink art. It reminds me of somebody just using one of those like ink pens and did the drawing or whatever. So. Stardew Valley and Zuzu City mod, which adds so much more gameplay and characters. Yeah, and that's the thing too, because like there's, even for like games like Skyrim, there's some fantastic mods for Skyrim. That was like part of my intrigue of getting a PC, is because I did want to, I want to play these older games, but I want to play with some new stuff in there. And some people are very creative with these mods and add so much more gameplay, and sometimes even just missing things. Like, I was like talking to boyfriend earlier today, about Fallout not working great or anything. He's like, it's like there's some great mods and stuff. He's convinced that he's convinced that I should continue to play Fallout. I just gave up on Fallout because it just frustrates me too much, and I've lost interest into fighting with it, and I no longer want to fight to play a game. Someone said they're doing Resident Evil 3, which adds what they took. What they took and the remake back. The original has loads more. Exactly. That's exactly true. That's exactly true, Ash. They took out a lot, so there's mods that literally put those back in because they quote unquote didn't find it relevant. Like the scene where you're going up around the lighthouse and stuff. That's not in the new remake. They took that out. Oh, nobody redeemed the second. Let's go. Bonus for you, Ash. You uncovered a spirit lantern. Too bad it only tracks moss, but hey, it's a spirit lantern, so. The clock tower, yeah, that's what it was, clock tower. They felt it wasn't necessary. I don't know, like, taking things out of the original game, necessary or not, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of. Give me more game. Exactly! Exactly, Ash. Exactly. But, yeah, I would definitely, I'm not the best person to ask, again. Although, you can also ask in my Discord, too. There's a couple of computer-savvy people in my Discord, too, that if you're like, hey, looking for a PC, I'm sure a couple of them. I know, Edgy Saint, he's very good with PCs. Justin, the Justin Time for Gaming, he works on, or I think he's a computer. I know he works in the computer industry. I know his knowledge is pretty good too. So I mean, there's a couple of people in my Discord as well that have a much more knowledge than I do in gaming, PC stuff. So my PC was custom built. My best friend is he's a pro streamer and a master electronic mechanic for cars. So electronics is like his specialty thing. So he actually custom built my PC for me. So I got that at really cheap because he constantly keeps buying new parts for his PC so he can keep his stuff like super up to date. So he's like, it's not even necessary for the stuff that I keep buying for it, but he's like, it's cool and new. And I'm like, okay. So I got a custom built. I got that custom built PC for like $600, and it's like a beast of a PC. I show people with my PC, and people are like, I want to redo my desk first. Understandable. Having a place for it to sit is big. Alright, let's jump into this demo. I'm very excited for this one. The art really excites me. I think you might really like this one too. I went to paint it pink. It's metal. I mean, honestly, you know, I mean, they also have like, you know, the machines that you could just buy pink as well. But it's much more fun if you paint it yourself. Put a Hello Kitty wallpaper on drawers. That would be so cute. I love how that we're like, we get along so well, Ash, and we're polar opposites of beings. I love that for us. You're like this cutesy, you know, nice colors and vibrance, and then you got me that's like the opposite of all of those colors. I love it. It's a great, we make a great contrast. Also, I haven't seen Insane Hoarder streaming lately. Is there everything going good for him? Or am I just missing his streams now? I don't think I've seen him stream in like a week. Now it is black and white, yeah. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about him today. I'm like, man, he hasn't really streamed. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if he has a Discord or anything, because I'm not part of it. I'm like, you know what? I was like, today I'll ask Ash, because Ash would know since you're a mod for him. But yeah, I haven't seen him since he did his like 12-hour stream. I haven't seen him since, so I was just kind of like a little worried, you know, because he usually like streams. I mean, sometimes he'll stream like a couple of times a day. He messaged me on Discord and hasn't streamed in a week. I know. He has a private Discord. Oh, okay. Not a stream one. Okay, okay. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, man, I haven't seen him stream in a week. Last thing he streamed was that 12-hour stream when he was playing Revenant 2. Because I asked him if he wanted to do a collab and both of us play it. And then he hasn't showed up since. So I think maybe I scared him away. Maybe it's my fault. His hand must be bothering him? Okay. I know one day he raided me and he said he needed to put ice on his hand. It was bothering him, so I'm guessing he has like some kind of maybe like carpal tunnel kind of issue on his hand, would be my guess. Sam, the connection of the camera and the network N733 has been established. Okay, I'm heading out. Wait, 1 sec. Done. It's disabled. You can go now. After buzzing helplessly with the rotating mechanism in the camera froze. Nearby, a female Slaw Helton emerges from the dark passageway. Without slowing down, she moves quickly and confidently deeper into the residential block. Dave, what about the other cameras? Disabled. I don't even know that word. Consecrate to. Once you go up, you can enter right away. Hurry, this won't take long. After climbing a few higher, she easily found a similar door of the old hotel above, which glowed in a dim neon light with the word 5NO. Passing through the gloomy lobby and the flickering lamps, shuddering, android struck in stasis, Sam headed straight for her client's room. Concierge? Concierge? I don't know what that word means. God. Mr. Santo greeted her while seated in the motorized wheelchair in front of his huge aquarium. He was a frail old man. By the time the technological breakthrough and life extension had occurred, his body was already too worn out. Not even several reinjections procedures were able to restore his youth. It's a person who usually is in front of hotels who helps guests. Oh. Hmm. His gaze was fixed on the small school of tiny mechanical fish that, amid a swim of bubbles, struggling to move up and down as if performing a strange, convulsive dance. Good morning, Mr. Santo. Oh, you are Sammy. How are you doing? Without waiting for an answer, she walked over to the computer console. Swiftly running her fingers across the keyboard, she brought the powerful machine out of standby mode. I'm doing fine, but the fish seem to be acting up again. Alfred must have messed with the aquarium again. If you underfeed them even a little, the whole school falls into a stupor. Sam lifted her gaze on the aquarium from the rocky bottom. Streams of tiny blush balls, lightning bursts kept erupting. The swirling school of the fry eagerly snapped up with open mouths, consistently bumping into each other, freezing for a moment, then sprinting back into motion. Oh, well. Never mind. I'm glad to see you again. I can't wait to finally get a good night's rest again. He. Sam inserted a limbo device and storage and transmission unit for NeuroDreams into the computer port. After a brief loading process, the computer synchronized with the old man's neuroimplant, signaling that the limbo was ready for activation. Are you ready? Yes, Miss Taylor, I'm ready. With a pleasant dog click on the old man's brain implant connected via remote ultra-high speed quantum link to Limbo and begin receiving the first pre-parity stream of code. Unlike her day job in the legal department where she developed controlled neural dreams, Sam extended the range of services she offered in her black market business. For the generous fee, she is willing to perform advanced programming, creating a neural dreams while bypassing a number of mandatory norms and regulations, making each dream hyper-realistic. Deprived of the sink cushions that ensured the smoother and gentler sleep, these dreams provide far more vivid and extreme experiences with the widespread legal ones. In my youth, I attended many concerts by Marjolaine Ray. I can't wait to introduce her to my friends. Just think. Right now, we're out there somewhere roaming in the vastness of space, and just a few minutes we'll meet up again at the concert. Jazz, expensive drinks, fragments, strong cigars, pressures you simply cannot find in the new world. Santo rolled his eyes in the dreamily while Sam continued tapping away at the keyboard. Listening along to the old man's gnarlistic tale. Just think, how long have I been using your services? And it still amazes me that I can connect with people millions of kilometers away in my dreams. Yeah, it's like living in a science fiction fantasy, right? Close your eyes and clear your mind. Closing his eyes, the old man leaned back in his chair. Now try to visualize a couple images. We'll synchronize them with the code in Limbo and generate a room. The place where you'll find yourself. After that, your companions will automatically receive guest access keys. Try to imagine the images and sounds as vividly as possible, okay? Yes, Sam. Not my first time. Let's do this. Alright. Picture the location of the event. Got it. We agreed to meet up at the old pub on Hall Street. It was first place. Hehe. Now imagine what you look like. God. Like how I used to look in my youth, with a wonderful light-colored three-piece suit and polished shoes. Excellent, Mr. Santo, and now the subjects and musicians, the singer, and what she's singing. Oh, that will take a bit longer. Right. Margaret, Steve, and Nancy. No need to list out loud. Just imagine. No need to list them out loud. Just imagine them and tell me when you're done. Alright. Yes, I think that's everything, huh? The old man broke into a satisfied smile and soft humming and melody unfamiliar to Sam. Generation will take a couple of seconds. After that, synchronization with your friends will follow, and then they'll be able to connect. Sam resumed typing and checking the impulses and transmitted from the limbo to the client's neural plant via wireless channel. Alright then, Mr. Santo, pleasant dreams. The old man sighed with pleasure just before his consciousness slipped into sleep and his brain flooded with the generated neural signal. Dave, how are we on time? Time to wrap it up. We wouldn't want to be beyond the limits of the temporal anomalies. Okay, I am almost done. Let's meet at our usual spot. After quickly packing up and checking her client's sleep and vital signs, she headed for the exit. The signal stream burst into limbo, and the data surged through the neural implant directly into Mr. Santo's brain. Familiar sensations. The old man's breathing froze, passing through the neural filter. He seemed to be dissolving. The sensations of his weak and frail body was slowly left behind. unable to keep up with the rapid motions of his consciousness. A moment later, he felt himself gaining mass and his weightless spirit growing heavily and becoming something new. Taking a breath, and he inhaled in relief and felt none of the familiar pain of his synchron liver. His head felt light, and his legs and cloud-like cotton trousers stirred. He opened his eyes. He was a young man again. Familiar music played around him, and the air filled with the wavering, breath-like haze of Hudson cigars, scented with alcohol and sweet perfume. Spinning around the leather chair, Santo looked around to make sure he was indeed in that very room with the singer and her unique trio. Just as he had expected, his friends were running late. The precious little moment he anticipating in the evening ahead, he could enjoy freshly rolled Cohiba cigar and a glass of Johnny Walker. Leaning back in his chair with a sense of great pleasure, Sancho took a deep drag and immersed himself in the music of the jazz melody carried by the singer voice as her round lips swayed in her simmering dress. Suddenly, something caught his attention. The floor beneath his feet began to dissolve, churning it into a vigorous black sludge. He tried to stand up, but his legs turned into cotton and refused to obey. From the depths of the foul liquid, he saw something emerging from hands reaching up for his legs. The old man no longer smelled the aroma of the perfume and cigars. His lungs filled with the thick bile and the long-forgotten stench of decay. Sam? Sam! Get me out of here! His voice echoed immersely, died without it struck the walls of the Nero room. Monstrous pain and fear seized the old man's body. Unable to move, he pressed himself into his chair, choking, scraping the armrest with his fingernails. At least one singularly of horror and pain reached out an inedible climax, abruptly cut short by silence of the old man and the singer's piercing scream. The metropolis' heavy glooming, an extinguished fire kept flickering with the smoldering ambers of the neon signs and advertising holograms. The city forever asleep, immersed in the dreams programmed by the corporations and delivered by via NeuroDreams. Some didn't leave their homes for weeks, permanently immersed in the dreamlike stasis existence where the world is exactly what they wanted it to be. Long deserted, long worn streets twisted between the mega skyscrapers that rose from the depths of the city all the way up to the clouds beyond, supporting the air purifications capsules and plantations that developed the city like a husk. Taking on black market jobs became easier with time. Nonetheless, the adrenaline made itself known and always the risk of getting caught. But she's always finished the job and there were never any sirens in sight. Leaving the tension behind, Sam calmly climbed toward the upper levels of the district. Somewhere up there among the antennas and distribution panels, Dave was waiting for her as usual. A briefing meeting after the joint side jobs had long become unspoken tradition. He greeted her with a fated smile. Congratulations. Another successful job, Sammy. We both did great. You handled the cameras and the android perfectly. Dave nodded in satisfaction and handed her a small inhaler. Thanks, Dave, but not today. Her companion shrugged and brought the inhaler to his lips and took a deep breath and blended light, synced in optic the peptides, and inhaled brush vapor. Did you get the payment? Of course. Bento always credits the funds before I even enter his room. I'll transfer the share now. My favorite part of the job. Sam activated a transaction using a metal command, and at the same time the implant on her temper glowing with a dull green light, signaling that the transfer had been completed successfully. Checking his balance, Dave could barely hide his satisfaction. Going to splurge on a pile of electronics again? Tempting. But not this time. Lately, I've been saving up, Sam. A couple of years and a new arc will leave Earth, and I plan on being on board. Wow, you never said you wanted to leave Earth. Do you really think it'll be better on another planet? Definitely better than here. Earth is finished. There are barely any people left, and despite the improving ecosphere, I think the planet is doomed. Did you hear about the new mega tower collapsing last night? The news mentioned that there were victims. Dave cut himself off mid-sentence, noticing Sam furrow her brows. Sorry, Sam. I didn't mean to remind you about... That's okay. That's in the past. She turned away, rubbing the polyethylene plate of the neural implant hiding beneath her temple. Dave took another drag from the inhaler and exhaled. Well, I hope you messaged to save enough to buy a ticket on that arc. It's just a shame I'll have to work alone. And what about you? What are you saving up for? Alright, let's head home. A storm is coming. Glancing up at the heavy black clouds creeping into the outskirts of the city, Dave nodded back at her. Making a farewell gesture with his hand and trotted towards the far edge of the roof, where his hover bike stood behind in the massive housing of the air conditioning systems. Meanwhile, Sam headed for the long staircase leading down and quickly took her through a narrow alley to her small but cozy apartment. Voice from the house. I'm waiting for you, Sam. The intense buzzing and vibration of her smart ring yanked Sam out of a sticky grip of a nightmarish dream, forcing her to sit up. That dream again. Putting on the ring and the cast the sleepy glaze of the hologram, Sam immediately recognized the long string of repeating digits and accepted the call. Good afternoon, dear customer. You are being contacted by Neuro International Augments. Please advise that your payment for contract B4141812 is overdue. Please pay the overdue amount as soon as possible to avoid penalty credits. Are you ready to make payment today? Yes, I'm paying. Your response has been recorded. Thank you. Goodbye. Sam hung up before the computer voice finished. Now fully awake, Sam is out of bed and closed her eyes again, waiting for the neuro implant to synchronize with her nervous system. This was but one of her many implants in which not only helped her with work and focus, but also actively infected her nervous system, dulling the consistent pain from injuries she sustained in childhood. Now suffered the implants and a couple of artificial organs, and she still had to pay for them. After synchronization bar finally reached 100%, Sam got up from bed and, after taking a few steps, found herself in the kitchen. The window blinds were closed and the light from the street advertising holograms seeped through the gaps, flooding the room with a cold neon simmer. The credits received yesterday came in handy. Overdue payments had been weighing her on her mind all week, and the corporate collectors have surely put her smart ring number on speed dial. After the coffee, she finally ready to, and a thick layer of chocolate spread covered her over toasted bread and sat on her favorite little chair. Made from a solid chunks of wood, Sam got at the flea market for next to nothing. It might have been someone else's trash, but it reminded her of her childhood at home, where its early 2000 style interior. Ellie turned on the news. Responded to the command of the voice, assisted immediately activating the holographic screen in the dark room in the dim light, appearing in the right mid-air. In the morning broadcast, the beginning and deliberately cheerful voice spoke through the unnatural snow-white smile that latest news from the previous night.
4 people were injured and 5 killed in yesterday's accident in the south of the city, where a number of air purification capsules collapsed. According to our sources, 2 emergency capsules broke loose from the upper level of the city and fell onto the Coyote slums, followed by an acid leak. As is well known, the spores contained in the capsules originate in sporangia reservoirs whose acidity level is among the highest. The police have declined to disclose the cause of the accident. However, in light of 2 similar events, some experts have concluded that the supporting structures may have suffered from wear and tear.
Sam watched the news anchor without looking away. No surprise. Who would invest in half-empty districts? Even though she knew that the person in front of her was only a hologram, the ghost of the long-dead anchor whose image has been used by the television agency for over 200 years. She still couldn't get over the Evidently friendly face. She talks about disasters and the bright future with the same cardboard smile. Someone should patch her code or something. If we were up to me, I'd definitely patch her mug. Taking a crunchy bite of the large piece of toast, Sam continued listening to the anchor's voice.
And in other news, the new year promises new horizons and change. This morning, our studio received a signal from the spacecraft ARC 375, on which former residents of our planet, now settlers, are moving throughout the depths of space towards a new home. The ship's assistant captain, Colonel Philip Robinson, reports that the ship will arrive at the exoplanet Kepler 284 in just 4 months, right in time for the new year.
Sam grew thoughtful. So that's how it is. Humanity crashes its home and they get to fly among the stars. Trash a new one. It's amazing easy it is to just uproot yourself and go somewhere far, far away in a search of a better life, while not even trying to fix the one you left behind at home. Sam looked over at the hologram and the long since faded picture hanging in the refrigerator door. The landscape of the raging the mountain river rushing down in the rocky slope, where a barely visible lone person in the red kayak battles the water, and had always stirred her imagination with its gripping atmosphere, its spirit of challenge and struggling adventure. And she couldn't remember where that picture came from, but she clearly remembered that it had once been in her source of inspiration. Suddenly, her thoughts were interrupted by another incoming call. Her boss. Face flickered on the hologram displayed of her smart ring. Good morning, Mr. Hammer. Hey, Sam. Could you come in early to the office? Yes, of course. Has something happened? Come right away. This isn't something we discuss over the phone. Understood. I'll be there soon. Throwing on her clothes and hurrying to pull up the hoodie over her head, she left her apartment. The city already began to wake up, and here and there, in the empty streets, every day, activity could be seen. The few businesses and trucks were starting to open. Kiosk. Sam walked along a roadway rusted steel and concrete and weathered paint on the curved iron rails, and numerous surroundings of the pipes had long since peeled away. Her apartment was located 15 minutes away from her workplace. Passing a couple of suspicions bridge and connecting office skyscrapers across the countless levels, Sam's attention was drawn to the police cordon setup near the entrance to another residential complex. The presence of so many cops in such a calm district were navigating into the measured lifestyle prevailed suggested nothing good. She approached the yellow holographic police tapes blocking the way, and nearby stood a corporate law enforcement officer wearing a black protective glasses and armed with a compact submachine gun. Only now she noticed that the entire porch was covered in a thick red burgundy sludge, and beneath this sheet of silhouette of a human body was clearly visible. The sight of it made her heartbeat quicken involuntarily, and an unpleasant, crushing sensation appeared in her chest. The police officer noticed her, but remained standing with a stone-cold expression. Excuse me? Officer? What happened here? Some poor bastard fell out of the window. Move along. There's nothing to see here. Adjusting her hoodie, she turned right into the bypass bridge, moving further away from the scene of the incident. First, my boss suddenly calls me into work, and now this? Despite growing in anxiety, she still managed to keep herself from panicking and from jumping into premature conclusions. With a brisk pace, she reached the skyscraper, growing into the lights, its peak hidden along heavy linen clouds. The usual wall-mounted sensor automatically scanned her implant, and she approached the building and summoned a high-speed elevator which arrived within seconds. The elevator swiftly carried her dozens of floors upward into the level where her office was located. Leveling the elevator, she was about to head towards the workplace when she suddenly noticed that her boss standing nearby talking to a tall stranger. As if sensing her gaze, both men turned around. Her boss had distinctly tried to smile, but his face quickly shifted, serious, and waving his hand to headed towards her, drawing his companion along. Sam, I'd like you to meet someone. This is Detective Collins. Detective Collins, Sam Taylor. This is one of our best neuro programmers. A pleasure to meet you, Miss Taylor. Likewise, Detective. How can I help? Miss Taylor, I assume you've heard of what's happening in the city. No? Well then, the city has been swept by a wave of senseless and, at first glance, unmotivated suicides. Suicides? I didn't think the police investigated cases like that. Correct. And a couple of such incidences, oh my gosh, wouldn't have caught our attention, but we're talking about at least 17 confirmed cases in the last 24 hours. 17? That's a lot. And that's the only two districts. All these suicides have committed in different ways, different people in different locations, all as in churns. There is one thing that connects them. One of the victims miraculously survived and was able to give a testimony. As a result, we have every reason to believe these suicides are linked to neural dreams. After these words, the detective took a case from his pocket of the jacket containing a miniature limbo device. This device belonged to one of the victims. It bears with the corporate logo. Can you check the serial number against your database? Sam carefully accepted the device and, scanning the code, immediately cross-checked it with her database via her implant. What do you think, Sam? Yes, this limbo belongs to us. That doesn't prove that the limbo of the corporation caused the suicide. Mr. Hammer, I didn't come here for accusations. I am here to understand what's happening and find our logical explanation. And I need a bit of your cooperation. Our department has already examined it and limbo was reflashed. Such units are not uncommon on the black market. But that's not the main issue. The detective raised one of his hands and activating his smart ring and brought a holographic video display. For some reason, game is not staying pinned. Doing that. Okay. I don't know, the game's not staying pinned and I can't find it. I literally put it as to not disappear. Oh, apparently there's save. Sure. And actually, while we're here, slow that a little bit. Okay, here goes the name of the game. Couldn't find my message, so. The detective raised his hand and actively his smart ring brought up a holographic video display. This is the interrogation protocol victim, Jordan Brooks. In his neural dream, nothing foreshadowed disaster. Just a regular meeting with his family, who is currently aboard the Ark. Before we continued our discussion, we need to see that. You need to see this. Sam gave a slight nod and shifted her gaze over to the display. The video showed a well-lit room immersing the interrogation chamber. Two men sat across from each other in a small table, one of them bald and dressed in work clothes, and the other in the formal suit and was clearly a department employee. A woman stood slightly behind them. A man in the suit spoke confidentially, almost emotionally. Mr. Brooks, you were hereby notified that this conversation, as well as our virtual signs, will be recorded. The camera switched over to the footage of the department employee's ocular implant. Brooks' eyes. Brooks look terrible. Fear, hopelessness, and were eloquent in his sunken eyes. Swaying slightly, he sat, his hands clasped in front of him, stirring flexibly at the table. The impressive silence was broken by a woman's voice. Mr. Brooks, I understand it's difficult for you to speak right now. I need to ask you a few questions. Brooks remained silent, nervously glancing around. He looked completely detached. Tell us what happens after you entered the Nero dream. I don't know. I just wanted to be with my wife and daughter. At first, we were these creatures, and they were talking to me, whispering my name. Someone's calling you from outside the Nero dream? Yes. Who were they? It's hard to describe. I can't see them. And then Mia disappeared. They took my little girl, and I followed her. I wanted to bring her back. And where did you go? There was a lot of doors there, and some of them were locked. Behind every door, I could see a presence, and they were listening to my footsteps. And they were grinning and waiting until I fell asleep. They're always nearby and never go away. Mr. Brooks, when was the last time you saw them? Those creatures. Now? They're here right now. Right behind you. Mr. Brooks, please listen to me. There is no one here except the three of us. Moreover, I am certain that your family is safe. We are already working on established contact with the Ark, so you can confirm this for yourself. No one is safe. No one. Damn it. I already lost them once and I was forced to stay on this earth. Not damn dream was going to contact us. I'm so afraid for years, and now I lose them again, and now the Neuro dream took my family away from me for good. The criminal psychologist deliberately remained silent, waiting for Brooks to continue, hoping that he would fill in the silence. That dream, it felt like it was real place. And the creatures that lived there weren't just abstract images, they're alive. And like all living things, they all need to eat. Mr. Brooks was losing control, his voice trembling. At times he screamed, jerking at the chair, and then he slumpered into the table, clenching his head. Mr. They're hungry? They're always hungry? They want to devour my wrong person. They're hungry. They're always hungry, and they want to devour my mind and soul. They crawl under my skin and eat your brain from the inside. I have to get rid of them. And I can't take it anymore. They're getting closer, and I need to get them out of my head. Mr. Brooks, please. No. Brooks suddenly clawed at his face, tearing and scratching at his eyelids. Scream heard hysterically, and he tore his own eyes with his bare hands. Brooke collapsed on the table in the sheer pain and caused the shock, and he went limp as the crimson fountain began a pool around his body. The moment someone could be heard screaming in the background, "Help him! Stop the recording! Damn it! The footage abruptly cut out." Barely containing her shock on what she had seen, Sam turned her gaze away. Our medics barely managed to rescue Mr. Brooks. His condition remains critical, so the doctors were forced to place him in a medically induced coma. The director merely let out a puzzled, nostril reframing from comment. Miss Taylor, with a great effort, as if struck between the thoughts of Sam shifted in the gaze and the detective. Have you ever encountered anything like this? I don't even know. Some users have experienced psychological issues due to the neurodreams. It happens roughly 1 in every 5,000 individuals. That's why our clients sign a liability waiver. I've seen various side effects, but nothing like this. And what do you think it could be the cause? I don't know. Detective, it seems to me your answers are unfounded. Plenty of people lose their minds every day. Besides, you yourself said that the limbo was reflashed. Who knows how the NeuroDream was compiled? Mr. Hammer will flash. Limbos do not differ much from licensed ones. As a rule, people don't go insane from them, nor do they get stuck inside. Get stuck? We detected the arc, and it turns that the victim's wife and daughter are connected to this limbo. That's impossible. They should have awoken up automatically when Mr. Brooks accepted the NeuroDream. It's extremely rare cases and can cause when one person does not wish to leave the NeuroDream. And the unusual typical addicts, binge users, but here, the normal family. Exactly. Some things doesn't add up. According to Brooks, his encounters certain entities there that abducted his daughter. Tell me, is it possible someone else connected to his limbo? some kind of hacker intrusion? I believe that's possible. Reflash limbo cannot be tracked, but as for connections, the function is hard coded into the system's core. Without an invitation key, connecting is impossible. As and who would even think of connecting to the same ordinary worker? For what purpose? That's exactly what we want to find out. Miss Taylor, since you have the necessary access codes, could you take a closer look at Mr. Brooks' limbo metrics? Sam glanced over Mr. Hammer and he nodded at the trace of the displeasure. Yes, of course, Mr. Collins. The three of them headed towards Sam's workplace. Connected to the limbo, the computer's neural port, Sam's fingers begin flying through the keys. The crusade over her numbers of the code appear in the monitors. After reviewing the neural dream protocol, she began to dissecting the code, trying to find software errors in the altered values. She distinctly searched for any anomalies, but according to the data, aside from the disabled tracking function after the flashed, both the limbo and the neural dream is generated fully compiled with all regulations. The storage contains a simple dream with a single room in a form of a seaside beach and two guests, a woman and a child. I don't understand. The limbo is fully operational and functioning normally. Sam pointed to blinking lines of code. Do you see this code? The victim's wife and daughter are indeed still connected to the limbo. Mr. Hammer, we need someone from the company to enter the neural dream and check it out from the inside. I wouldn't ask if many lives weren't at stake, but of course, the decision is yours. This is a voluntary operation. Sam bit her lips intensely. We need to pull them out. Mr. Hammer, connect me. Sam, have you lost your mind entering the victim's neural dream? You realize how this could end for you. I do, Mr. Hammer, but it seems this is the only way out of the current situation. I can't allow anyone to suffer because of my inaction. Miss Taylor, do you think you can handle this? Yes. Assisting the clients in existing neural dreams is also part of my professional duties. With a single motion, Sam lay down on the couch. Even if you're an administrator, who knows how the limbo will react? What if something goes wrong? Don't worry, boss. I have enough experience. You know my level of exit control, and I can exit the neural dream whenever I want. Alright, go ahead, Sam. Detective, I will be waiting for your return. And the boss entered the necessary codes and launched the emergency connection program. The limbo lit up and the stream of data rushed into the Sam's mind, fixed with a dose of someone else's phantoms. The quiet hum of the computer components of the rig louder and filling the room with dense sound and vibrations. The quiet hum of the computer components in her rig grew louder, as if filling the room with a dense sound of vibrations. A wave of cold shimmers ran down her body, and she reached into her head, and it felt as the tiny bites were pricking at her skin, trying to burrow straight down into her brain. Unwillingly, she thought of the cranotopiary flash through her mind. I guess this is what it feels like for undergoing open brain surgery. Her vision darkens, her eyelids close on their own. With the machine finally reached the required power, she felt a powerful jolt, like a sledgehammer blow, knocked her unconscious out of her body, sending her into a free fall down an unknown abyss. To continue, thank you for playing the demo and the game and the wish list. That was very good. I like that one a lot.